Hello there, in this video we are going to attempt try it yourself section of making numerical lists section of the book Python Crash Course. So let's begin. First I'm going to create a file using the touch command. Let's call it numerical list.py and let me open the file numerical list.py. Now let's do the problem 4-3 counting to 20. Use a for loop to print numbers from 1 to 20 inclusive. Now in order to do that we are going to use the range function for num in range. Now we are going from 1 to 20. By default range starts from 0, so that's why we are going to give the starting argument. And inclusive means we are going to need 20. In order to need 20, do you know what to do? We are going to do 21 because range does not give us the last number. So let's run our code python numerical list.py and we got numbers from 1 to 20. Now I'm going to comment out this code and we will work on the second problem. So let's call it 4-3 and let's do 4-4 now. 1 million. Make a list of numbers from 1 to 1 million and then use a for loop to print the numbers. Okay, now this might mess up our computer, maybe. Let's see. Now 1 million, how many zeros are in 1 million? We can use underscores. Aren't they useful? So there are 6. Now we can print the number. We can print the numbers and see. And let's see what would happen. Python numerical list. Now the book said 1 million, right? So we are going to add 1 to it. Now let's run. Now it is printing to 1 million. Wow. So let's see. It is going to take a long time, don't you think? We are at 100,000. And in order to reach 1 million, it would at least take about 20 to 30 seconds. And I'm not going to wait that long. So I'm going to close my terminal and create a new session. But that's how you print numbers from 1 to 1 million. Oh, I think I made a mistake. In order to start from 1, we will need the first argument. So we are done with 4-4. Funny example. 4-5 summing a million. Make a list of numbers from 1 to 1 million and then use min and max to make sure your list actually starts from 1 and ends at 1 million. Also use the sum function to see how quickly Python can add a million numbers. Yes, this is a good example. So let's say nums and get a list of numbers from 1 to 1 million. Again, you don't need underscores again. They are helpful for reading numbers. That's it. Now let's print the max and the min, and finally the sum. Print sum nums. Now this is going to be extremely fast because now we are not printing. Actually printing takes time. Doing maths is super fast. So let's run. See, it didn't even take a second. When you print a million numbers, that would take time, but when you get the sum of them, it is going to be extremely fast. So we are done with 4-5. Let's comment that one out as well. And let's do 4-6. Let's see what 4-6 is. Odd numbers. Use the third argument of the range function to make a list of the odd numbers from 1 to 20. Use a for loop to print each item, to print each number. Okay. For num in range 1 to 20. Now you can do 1 to 20 because 20 isn't even an odd number. We don't want to include 20, so we can do 20. Now we can print num. But there's a problem, right? It will give us all the numbers. We don't want all the numbers, we just want odd numbers. So if we start from 1 and make a jumps of 2, we are gonna get odd number, because what comes after 1? 2. After 1 we get 2, but if we make a jump of 2 steps, we will get 3, 1, 3, 5, and so on. So let's run it and see. Python numerical list, and we got 1 to 19. If we wanted 21 as well, we could type 22, but the problem said only 20. Threes. Okay, let's do problem 4-7. Threes. Make a list of the multiples of 3 from 3 to 30. Use a for loop to print the numbers in your list. Okay, so multiples of 30, multiples, let's do 3 multiples, and let's create a for loop to first generate those numbers for num in the range from 3 to 30. It is saying 3 to 30. Now in order to do that, I can go from 1 to 11, and then I can multiply, right? I can do result equal to num times 3. So 1 times 3 is 3, 10 times 3 is 30, and then I can append it. Result. Now I got all the results. Now I can do for num in 3 multiples and print my nums. Let's comment out the previous one, and let's run the 4-7. Clear Python numerical list. So 3 to 30. Now one might say, let's start from 3 and go to 30. Let me show you what I mean. So this is one way. Looks a little long. The other way of doing it, because the problem said make a list of multiples of 3, so I made a list. But if you don't want to create a list, you can just use range with a step. For num in range, start from 3, go to 31, and make jumps of how many? 3. I guess 3. Let's see. Print num, and we should see the same result. Python numerical list.py. We got the same result. So only 2 more remaining. 4-8. Cubes. A number raised to the third power is called a cube. For example, the cube of 2 is written as 2 power 3 in Python. Make a list of the first 10 cubes. Okay, let's do it. It is just like how we got squares, right? So nothing new. For num in range 1 to 11, so that's how we will get the first 10 cubes. Let's call it C num, and let's raise it to 3, and let's append it to our cubes. Now I can print my cubes, and let's run our code. Python numerical list. I got the cubes. 1 power 3 is 1, 2 power 3 is 8, 3 power 3 is 27, 4 power 3 is 64, 5 power 3 is 125, and so on. Now finally the book is saying in the question 4-9 to do the same, but to use a list comprehension. Again, it's exactly like the squares example, so nothing new. For num in range 1 to 11, and what we put here will be inserted to our list. So we want to put the cube, and we can print the cubes again. You can use a for loop to print one number at a time, or you can just print the whole list. Print. So Python numerical list, and the same result. We got the same result. Again, list comprehension does not give you a new feature. It is just a shortcut. That's it. It's just a shortcut. You don't need to worry too much about it. If you practice for loops, the traditional for loops, if you get better at it, list comprehension will come naturally to you. You don't need to stress too much about it right now. So we are done with the try it yourself section. Congratulations. And thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.